Wait, is it recording? Yeah, it's fine. I just said I'll add them in like 5 minutes. Yeah. We're getting finally there. We're hopefully for someone. Because I listen back.
Do you know what it is? It's life. Life happens.
Yeah.
We'll do this week, and then the week goes, and you're like, oh, I still haven't done it. Mad. But at least have something set in stone to be able to talk about. And do you know what cracks me up as well? You know your video that you put on your YouTube channel?
Oh yeah.
You were wearing your UFC t-shirt. You were like, I know what I'm talking about. I've got the merch.
I didn't even. You know what? I didn't intend when I wore my UFC shirt. I wasn't intending to wear it because of the video. It was just that I wear it when I'm training at home. So it's like one of my training tops, just because it's comfortable, and like it gives me a little like. It gives me like pretend like hype kind of thing.
Then I want to coach you.
Yeah. So it's like, and I realised when I was watching the video, I was like, oh, that's wearing my UFC top. That's just like the.
It's like product placement. Like I know what I'm talking about because I'm wearing the merch. So.
Yeah. Next week, I'm going to get a picture of Margaret Thatcher and talk about politics.
Yeah, exactly.
Right behind me.
On the back.
Just her, just the Iron Woman. That'd look alright. Yeah, man. Did you watch? I'm guessing you stayed up and watched the.
Yeah, I watched it. Yeah, it was it was good. It was a good card, and it didn't disappoint either. You know when you have big cards and they like. You're not sure how it's going to go, and then it disappoints. And you're like, well, that was a waste of 4 hours of my life, and I've got to be up in 2 hours. Like. The card was good on viewing on paper, and then it delivered.
Oh yeah. I mean, for me, I decided I wasn't watching the prelims because I looked at the prelims and I was kind of like,
yeah, prelims were they didn't interest me all that much, to be honest. But
I I just went, you know what? I'm gonna get up at 2:45. So I'm gonna get up at 2:45, and I got these like cold espressos you can have. I just had one of them and I was like, cool, I'm ready. And I literally
quite good at getting up. It was me, Caleb, and Jamal all watching it.
Oh, right, you get them into it?
Oh yeah, I've got them into it. Caleb's kind of into it, but I've got him into it properly. Like whenever a big card comes up, I'll go around there and watch it. And Jamal started as well. Like because they're both big boxing fans. But now they're in both camps, and Caleb messaged me and he was like, "Bro, like I'm starting to find UFC better because if you have a boring UFC fight, like a boring fight, it's usually, and again I say boring, it's either because no one's thrown any shots or done anything. They've just got that kind of nervous energy where they're like this.
Yeah.
It's one of those what Usman did, where if you watch it and you're a purist, you're like, he is doing so well.
Everyone was knocking him. I'm in a couple of groups, like UFC fan groups, because obviously I am a proper like. I am like. I think I'm married at this point to the sport. But like, something goes like, oh, it's annoying, man. He's got a lot of casuals going. All he did was foot stomp and do this, and I was like, it is. I mean, the Lad Bible or Sports Bible, you've probably heard of them. They put a post on it, and so many casual fans going, "Oh, it's rubbish." I was like, "Go watch boxing then." Exactly. If you don't like it, go watch boxing. So many people are complaining, but his wrestling, right? Yeah. He is a mixed martial artist. He's not like a specialist in like boxing. He just did what he knows, and like it's like I said in my video. Why are you gonna? I wouldn't want to stand and like go hand to hand with Masvidal, who's like. Who's on the back of 2 KOs and 1 TKO? Like realistically,
and his first round as well. He landed some shots to Usman where people thought, "Hang about, we've got a fight here." Like some solid shots, but it is that thing of the like and like you say, it's casuals when they will get whenever it's like unless I think Khabib stands out. As someone who's a wrestler but can still excite,
he's different
because he just absolutely smothers people and mauls them. Whereas
he's different because he gives you the throws. Like he'll pick someone up and slam them to the floor. Yeah. He'll ground and pound. He's got a bit of everything.
Yeah, exactly. So where like a casual sees Khabib, because he is so dominant, it's usually something where they don't mind watching it. But if it's someone like Usman, like, can you imagine, for example, if they watch the like the first ever UFC fight that you've ever watched is Woodley against Usman? Can you imagine that was the first fight? You probably never watched it.
I think, what is this rubbish? Like, thing is, from a wrestling standpoint, a grappling standpoint, that was decent, but it just showed
masterclass, simply because that's what he does. But you don't want to stand against Masvidal because he will knock you out, and that's Usman had to try and take advantage of that. Although Masvidal's takedown defense,
it was brilliant.
It was solid.
It was great. I mean, I think, but maybe it's because I really like Masvidal as a fighter. I think if he had more of a camp, he could have done a lot better. I just think he looked so tired.
Yeah. But that's going to happen. That's like one of the major things of camp is obviously building that endurance to be able to go.
Yeah.
Unless you are a knockout merchant and you're doing it in 2 rounds. But when you're coming up against someone like Usman, you're going to need that endurance to defend against it, to try and mount your own attack. And to be fair to him, for Masvidal, it was a no-lose situation. If he wins, champ on 7 days' notice. If he loses, he's lost on 7 days' notice.
Or 6 days. You remember that? 6 days. It's just a hype.
Even then, because of the way that he lost, he didn't really get dominated. Like
no. People were annoyed. Like, kind of people wanted him to take his side and was like, it's not fair. He didn't deserve that. People are upset. It's because we like an underdog story.
Yeah.
That's why.
But the thing is, he just puts himself now into the picture for the title anyway. Because on 5 rounds, on six days' notice, 6 days' notice, couldn't beat him. Like in terms of like knockout or wear him down and make him TK him. He had to try and grind him down, which I think just worked in Masvidal's favour.
I mean, I think with Masvidal is, it's like I said, it's fair. It's like a... Oh, Tom's here. Whoa! He got... and he's not blaring his face.
Yeah, miracles happen.
But we're talking about Masvidal and Usman, how the fight, like, props go to Masvidal.
To be fair as well, with Masvidal, is you can see that, like, there are some times in the fight where he's doing like a little smirk. Like he's always that kind of, like, if someone catches him with something, he always gives a smirk. And you know another thing I worked out about Masvidal as well? You know when a lot of people throw punches, their face doesn't really tell what they're doing. They're just going like this and they're concentrating. Yeah. Masvidal, he grimaces when he throws a punch. Like, he's putting emotion into this punch.
Oh yeah.
He means everything. And when, like, there was one time where Usman went like this and tried to come up against him, and Masvidal just went like that, and he grimaced his face. Oh man, like, he puts everything into it.
I think he caught him in the first round.
It's like Masvidal came from basically straight up street brawling.
Yeah,
just like fighting in the street.
Oh yeah.
He's like, like the normal MMA fighter in general will probably like start in a gym or something and then work their way up to like actually fighting people. But this dude was straight up in the streets. Bare knuckle brawling.
Have you watched the videos? Like,
of course.
I mean, man, he was fighting like heavyweights. Like, some of the guys he's fighting were like triple the size of him, and he's like landing shots, taking these guys down. It's just like, mate, I hope he like gets an opportunity to fight again soon, because I feel like he just. I know it's not making an excuse for him because he's 6 days notice, but I'd like to see him with a full camp at least and see what he can do, because cardio has a lot to play in. Because if you can think about it, he travelled to another country, then had to lose weight in such a quick period of time. I mean, I'm not taking any props away from Usman. Usman was amazing. He deserved to win that fight, hands down. But I would like to see him fully fit. If I was Usman personally, I want to have that fight again, but I want him at full fitness so I can prove I am like the undisputed champ.
That's the thing. Both of them want to go again, but at full fitness.
Yeah, definitely.
Otherwise, again, you can't take anything away from Usman because you can only beat what's in front of you. But at the end of the day, you have someone in front of him who was on 6 days' notice, and his performance was still good. What do you think was performance of the night?
I've watched a couple of the fights again, and I first thought Rose Namajunas. I thought that was the fight. But I look back at Peter Yan versus Jose Aldo.
Can't go past Peter Yan for me. Like, he was phenomenal.
Man, he was so good, especially towards the end.
Haven't seen the fight yet.
Mate, I'm telling you, that fight, like just at the end, was like. Aldo.
Sorry, Tab. How can you want to come to a podcast that you haven't seen?
I saw the main event. You know.
Oh, you're such a casual.
No. I saw the main.
We're gonna watch it and then give a recap.
Look, I can watch it right now. I'll watch it right now. I'll tell you what I think of it while I'm watching it.
Yeah. We'll be talking about next week's event, and you'll be like, "Oh yeah, that was so
good." But Penny's thinking, "Please don't talk about the rest of the fights. Please don't talk about the rest of the fights."
No, I saw I can't remember. It's like what her name was. I think. Did she get like someone that got submitted in like the first round or something?
Paige Van.
Paige Van Zandt. That. I felt so bad for her. I thought she was going to cry.
I'd cry.
She got submitted so quickly.
Let's be real.
It was so quick. I felt so bad for her.
And I was like, well, that's it then, is it?
Yeah. I felt so bad. Poor lady.
She looked like a beginner just walked into a gym and like went for the best person possibly and just got absolutely for like a minute and a half. And I'm like, well, that's disappointing. But now Peter Yan, like Jose Aldo looked really good. Like, I don't want to take anything away from him because he looked really good.
Yeah, he did. But he just came up against a guy who was in like a different level on the night.
Do you think age played a part? And he's taken a few hits since like his prime.
Definitely.
Well,
did you say played a part or was?
Well, I think that one of the reasons why he went down a lot easier because I just remember, obviously, before Conor McGregor, he was so dominant. He had all that confidence. McGregor knocked him down. He's been beaten by Holloway a couple of times. I think he's lost against Mendes, maybe. I'm not too sure. But he's lost a few times since then. He's been knocked out. I mean, he's been beaten pretty badly in some of those fights. And I think he took a hit, and I think his chin maybe just kind of, or just his mental frame and physically just like, I can't.
I think it's the fact that, you know, he's getting on a little bit. Like, he's not old, but still going on. Like, people forget how long he's been around as well. Like, he went unbeaten for like a decade.
First featherweight champ. Everyone forgets that.
Went unbeaten for a decade until McGregor came along. But I think that fight
was just horrible. But
that fight signaled something as well. That fight was probably, like you said, probably did something to his mentality where he was like, and because he's not been the same since. Like, he's been able to deliver blows, but before it, he was a knockout artist. Like, you get into the ring with him, and like his knees, his elbows, his fists, his feet. Like, he used to play football to a solid level as well. Like, the guy is an athlete, but I don't think mentality-wise, I don't think he's there anymore.
I don't know what he could do because I mean he wants to go for that double. He wanted the champ status, I guess, but like I think he's not gonna. I look at that bantamweight division, right? And to be honest, the bantamweight division looks lively. I don't think he's gonna beat any of the top 5 contenders. He's not there for me. I don't think he's gonna be. I think maybe. I mean, if they put a fight against him and Garbrandt. I would like to see him versus Garbrandt. That would be an interesting fight.
Well, Aldo.
Yeah, bantamweight, yeah.
No.
Why not?
I
mean, I think Cody is just too. He'll get knocked out.
He's wild.
Who? Cody will get knocked out, or
yeah, Cody will get knocked out.
I think he's very he has this amazing technique because he's worked with some really good trainers, and he trained at Tiger Muay Thai, one of the best training places in the world. And then when you watch him fight, it's like, okay, he's really good at this, he's really good at that, and then it's like equivalent to like Messi dribbling past someone and then toe punting the ball. It's just like, why? So why? You can talk from any angle, but you're going to toe punt it. It's like him. As soon as like he gets hit hard, he's like, all right, I've just got to attack everyone. I've got to throw like these punches everywhere. It's like
he throws bombs. Like there was a few fight. I think it was a few fights ago. He literally got into a stand-up like scrap with the guy who he was against, and they were both just doing this. Yeah. And one of them hit Cody, and he was out. Like that was it. And then the fights against Dillashaw as well. If he comes up against someone who outstrikes him, he's done, because he does he gets excited. You can tell he gets excited. Yeah. He's like, right, this is it. I can pounce now. He's like a shark. Smells blood, and he's like, yeah, I'm in. And then bosh.
I think it's kind of
different. Did you see his knockout in his last fight?
Yeah.
That wasn't skillful. That was just like a mistake on the other guy's part. Let's be real. Come on. Yeah. He literally dragged his arm from the cage. He dragged his arm from the cage.
From the floor to the ceiling. And the guy just like, what's he doing then? I don't know, mate. He's having a fight. I don't know what you're doing. He's probably thinking what he's going to have at Costa when he finishes. But, nah, man. I want to see that fight just because I think for the Aldo, he needs maybe a bigger name, because obviously Garbrandt was a former champion. I like to see Aldo maybe just to give him some confidence, because it's like he's not that age where you should retire, mate. But he's still got a few fights. But I don't know, like title wise, I don't see him. I don't think he should fight for the title again. I don't think he's going to manage it.
To be honest, he was 6th seed, right, and lost.
Yeah,
that's it. It's that simple. Like in order to go for a title fight now, he has to be in the top 3, and he doesn't he's getting there anytime soon.
Definitely. Yeah. I mean, we gotta go. I gotta bring it. Max Holloway versus.
I love Max Holloway, man.
Alexander Volkanovski.
He should have won. He should have won. First 2 rounds, he dominated. Did you see when he took the mick as well out of Volkanovski? Like
no, I missed it.
It was in like the first or second round. He shook him a little bit, and Volkanovski's legs started to go. And Max Holloway was stood opposite him. He dropped his arms and just pretended to shake his legs.
He knocked him down twice. In different rounds. I don't understand. I watched that fight and I was thinking, Max has got it. I called it. I was like, Max has got it. It's his fight. And then when they said Volkanovski, I literally got really mad. I was like, what do you mean? What do you mean, Volkanovski?
The first 2 rounds were clearly Max's. Clearly. No doubt. 3rd round, either way, I would have just given it to Max. Just. 4th round, just Volkanovski. And then he started to come back into it and came on strong. On the scorecards, surely Max was higher. I didn't get it. I didn't understand.
No, I don't get it either. I thought he was better. What do you think, Tom? You're going to tell me you thought Volkanovski,
yeah? I'm going to tell you that...
He's not seen it.
No. I have seen it, right? But here's the thing. The day I was watching it, I was a bit kind of tired. So I was like, I only watched the first... How many rounds was it?
5.
5. I only watched the first 3, I think, and then I just skipped because I woke up and I saw that Holloway lost. That was the first. That was one of the first things I saw.
Woke up and then fell asleep again.
No. I'm saying when I got up, yeah, because I didn't watch the fight live. So when I got up and I actually watched it, I saw the Holloway lost, and I was supporting Holloway to win. So I was just I just didn't care in a sense. So I just watched the first 3 rounds, and I was like, okay, cool, whatever, he lost.
He looks so different with hair as well.
Yeah, he does. He looks like that guy you'll see in the kebab shop down Windsor.
Yeah. Yeah, I just finished watching the Aldo fight.
Oh, did you just watch it? Did you?
Yeah.
What do you think?
I think he was good for the first.
I think he was good. That's my last.
It was good for the first. Yeah, and then
in that final round, it was an absolute.
God, that was wrong.
Didn't stop it before. How can someone take 40 shots unanswered? Like, he's not fought back in any way.
No.
He's literally just defending himself. How can someone take 40 shots and as a referee you stand there and you're like, nah, I think he's got this.
Yeah, he's lying there bleeding, hands like this, and like he just took a knee. Oh man, it was bad. It was bad.
Here's the thing, like the referees, like they get so much smoke, and I think it kind of reaches a point where I think a ref just decides, yeah, I'm gonna let this guy take a few more shots so they don't say like I made a mistake.
Yeah. The amount of times, like, it's a very, very fine line if you call it too early or call it too late. It's a very, very fine line. And the amount, we've seen it a lot recently where referees have called it too early, and people are like, but I'm okay. Like, I'm okay. Like,
what do you think's better though, calling it early or calling it too late?
I think that it's a tough one because.
How are you asking that question?
It's a thing though. I mean, it's a tough one because if you call it too early, it's like look at Dominic Cruz and Henry Cejudo. I understand why the ref called it because he wasn't going to defend it. He was getting up, but he wasn't going to defend himself. Or if you look at Henry Cejudo, TJ Dillashaw, it's like you understand why he called it. But with like Ben Askren and Robbie Lawler, you're like, oh, give it a bit more time. It's a really hard one. I guess it's down to opinion, but at the same time, like, I don't want to see someone who can't defend themselves taking a beating like Jose Aldo did, because that's not fair. It just makes him look like, I think, as a fighter, it makes you look less of a kind of a fighter, and it affects you in that way, because you're going to have to go back and watch that and just watch you take an absolute beating and realise you could do nothing about it, and that affects your confidence. I mean, it's a tough one. I guess either way, I think there's got to be some middle ground. Well, I guess the problem is it's down to opinion. What I find should be stopped. To you, maybe no, carry on. So it's all opinion with that one, annoyingly.
It's the same with refereeing in football. It's very subjective.
Oh,
But if a referee grows up as a player who's or prefers to have like a centre back who goes thundering into tackles, takes the ball, but ultimately takes the man as well, maybe leaves a bit on him, then he's going to leave rough tackles out. And it's the same with referees in MMA. You know, if you see someone and you think you're a little bit more optimistic, you're like, right, I'll give him a little bit here. Oh, look, he's defending champ. You know, he's been champ before. He's a good fighter. He can find a second wind. You've always got to try and give it that benefit of the doubt. But it's so it's so tough. And like I said, it's a very, very fine line. Because if you do call it too early, you're like, look, I feared for your safety. Like with the one with Robbie Lawler and Ben Askren. Robbie Lawler, straight away, he was fuming. But then when the ref turned around to him and said, look, I thought you were out. I'm sorry. I was doing it for your safety. Robbie turned around and he accepted it. He was like, all right, fine. That's fine. Robbie Lawler as well, who's probably one of the, like, doesn't care. Look, kill me.
No.
And it's split open in a fight, and it's become one of the most synonymous images in UFC history. You know, or you say too late, and ultimately you embarrass the fighter a little bit because they can't defend themselves, or even worse, knocked out already, you cause them more injury because they're still taking blows when they're unconscious. So it is a very, very fine line.
I think the bigger problem is the judges. Like, I don't want to get too much into this, but the judging problem they have with MMA, I think needs to. I know they take.
So you've already ranted about this for 15 minutes. You stop now.
No, it's just because, like,
if you want to rant.
If you want to see me rant, watch my other video. But like, just a brief. I'm gonna go real brief on this. But they it's very similar to boxing scoring, and I was like, you can't have mixed martial arts done on one kind of scorecard. It needs to change. They need to, and not just 3 judges. I think it needs to have more than one. I think you need to have, and they need. I don't know these referees and how experienced they are, but a lot of them don't.
Have you
watch like MMA? So they're going by like their idea of how dominant a fighter is. You need old fighters or people that have fight to do it, because it's just going to ruin it. I think you get silly results like Holloway, man, who deserved to win the fight, and now he's got a pointless L on his record. But yeah, that's me done. That's me done.
I respect Holloway. Because like he took it. He took the loss like a champ. You know, he didn't make excuses 100%. Or anything. It's just like it is what it is. Talking about horrible refs, have you heard of the legend of Steve Mazzagatti?
Yeah, I've heard.
Yeah.
I've heard, yes.
I've seen this YouTube video. With the title.
Dana White, and what? Dana White getting so mad, like, I'm going to sack him. I think I know
not even that one. It's titled, If He Dies, He Dies.
Oh, I'm going to have to watch that now.
This guy's a danger to any sport, just straight up.
Did you think that? So you said performance of the night, Peter Yan. Do you think the fight of the night was Yan and Aldo as well?
Performance of the night, I would say, is Peter Yan. Fight of the night was Rose. I think Rose.
Bug Rose against Andre.
Bug Rose. Oh,
so as well.
So good. She looks so good. She just looked like she carried on from last time, where before she got dropped on her head.
Yeah.
But kind of going over there, she does.
She was flawless. Absolutely flawless. But did you see as well at the end of the fight when like they were both compared against each other, and you look at them both and you think, darling, there's no way you won. Like your eyes out here and your nose is
cut. She was so good.
Yes, Andrade looked a little bit more complete.
I look at Jeanne, you know, the current holder, and I just think, I don't know if Rose could beat her. I mean, she's probably got a better chance than anyone else does, but that strawweight division, whoever's got I can't remember her name. You know what I'm on about. She's tough, man. She just Chinese girl. Looks just terrifying. Terrifying. Oh, I don't want to fight her. If she comes up to me and goes, you're fighting me, I'm like, honestly, I'm just here to watch. So I'd quit my membership.
If any female fighter in the UFC came up to me and said, me and you are having a scrap right now, I'm like, no, yeah, darling.
I'm out.
I'm not taking that out.
You know, Nunes, I've said this for so many people. She has to spar mostly versus men because they can't find women good enough to compete with her. Like, and that's not me being sexist. If someone's watching this and you think, he's been saying it's not me. She's like that good. Yeah. She is like, I don't think anyone's going to beat her until she gets a little older or slows down a bit. I think she's going to be like the Anderson Silva of the female division. They need to make a new weight class, maybe, and just let bigger women fight. They have they haven't got a bantamweight division for women, do they?
I don't think so.
No, they do. No, they do. Nunes is the bantamweight. The featherweight. They need a featherweight division. Can you imagine?
Featherweight, not bantamweight. Yeah. You're right. Yeah.
Can you imagine heavyweight? Well, I'm surprised. I know women don't get a trick, but I'd love to see heavyweight. Give them more divisions. I want to see more champions. I want to see more, because women's MMA is getting so much better. Like before, when it was like Ronda Rousey, there wasn't many fighters that you look at. Oh yes, that's good. But the talent pool now, because a lot of the fighters who started like Holly Holm are still in the mix, and you've got a lot of the older fighters who are former champions. You've got a really good mix now where it's really competitive, and there's a lot of good fights, and it's like the women division looks like so much better. You just think in the next five years, women's division. The fact is that Nunes was the main card, and it did some good numbers. I want to see more women do better and get better sport, because obviously at the moment they're not as a big draw. But yeah, hopefully there's another Ronda Rousey out there that doesn't decide she's bigger than the actual sport.
Hey.
In my opinion.
Hey.
What?
That was a little bit salty, man. That was a little bit.
She. I don't know why she listened to her trainer saying, "You're really good at boxing. You should try box with Holly Holm, a former kickboxing world champion." Yeah. Let's do that. No, what? I don't know who she was doing. She should have stuck to what you know, taken her down. Simple. But no, you want to get banged up by Holly Holm. That's your business, not mine.
I mean, no one expected the kick.
Coach Gaster, he was like, "Look, I've never seen someone be able to box like Ronda boxes. Like, he gets Gaster up so much."
Oh no, it's like yes man, such a yes man thing.
Like you've walked into it there. If you're saying that, and then he goes into the fight and gets embarrassed, like it's on you.
So imagine like someone going, it's like someone going to Khabib, move into not Khabib, sorry, welterweight. Who's a welterweight? No, I'm trying to think. I'm trying to get a comparison. Wait. Let me think.
No one says that to Khabib, even in their dreams. No
one. Okay, it's like okay.
Not even bears, not even animals say that.
Well, bears, yeah. Bears can't even say. No, it's like someone going up to a really good, someone who's really good at judo, going up to Adesanya, going, "Oh, this guy's got amazing boxing." Like, honey, if you can take Israel Adesanya down, your better chance taking him down than going punch to punch. Because this guy has this weird kickboxing style that suits him so well. He just looks so good when he's fighting. Like, it's so entertaining to watch him fight, his style. I don't know.
What do you think, Tam?
I think he fights like he's in a game, which is so beautiful.
Yeah, it's like he's Tekken.
Any auto.
I just like his style. I like the way he talks. I like the way he acts. He's got a good head about him. It's like him and John Jones are arguing online, and he just turns around and goes, John Jones goes, "Oh, you've been knocked out before, I haven't." And then he turns around and goes, "Well, I learned from my mistake. I haven't been knocked out since. You've been caught speeding, but you're still doing it." And they're just like, oh, it was like, oh, John, stop. You're not going to win this battle. Like,
I think for like John Jones versus, firstly, it's never going to happen because it doesn't even make sense. They're just not in the same weight category. They're just
right. Wait, they're going to move up to because Israel Adesanya at some point he'll go up to like heavyweight and probably get champ status because he looks better than all the light heavyweights. I don't think there's anyone. I fully rate him. He's a really good. His mixed martial art. I mean, his ground game's like surprisingly really good, and I don't think a lot of people rate him on that. But yeah, man, I can't. I look forward to seeing him fight more and fighting different people because I just don't think. Don't get me wrong, his last fight was so boring with I don't know what that was. It's like I know Romero can knock me out with one punch, so I am just not gonna.
I'm not gonna go forward. Would you? Let me ask you this: would you have gone forward?
Put that back.
The painting was shocked.
Would I go forward with Romero? But yeah. Maybe, I don't know. I've never like been face to face with
him. Him.
Listen, I don't mind, man. I don't mind because I've been training and I've done stuff. So like, I like to go against the bigger guy personally because I think that's how I feel like I perform better with someone bigger than me because I know I'm like the underdog. So I know I've got to prove myself against this guy. But
I would be spark out.
That's all right.
That's comatose.
Don't know why I even suggested this.
Just be like Aldo on the floor. Please stop. Stop.
And me and Caleb had a chat the other day as well. Like Romero, despite his age, probably is in terms of his figure and his shape. He is in like the best shape in the UFC, despite the fact
he's older. I reckon he's some like genetic freak. I don't care.
His whole family is filled up with genetic freaks. It's crazy.
Man, he's a beast.
Like big men, big men.
It's like Cuban DNA, warrior DNA. So I gotta drop this one because it's a fight coming up. I think not this week, but next week. Darren Till versus Whittaker. What are we calling it? What are we calling this fight?
I want Darren Till.
I love Darren Till. I really want him to win. He's so good. I think he was pressured in that first title fight. I think he wasn't ready. And I think mentally he couldn't hack it. But I think, and obviously then Masvidal just floored him. And we talk about that. We'll be here for another 50 hour. But like, Darren Till, like, he did really well against Gastelum, really well performed. And I liked, if he can do really well against Whittaker, I think he deserves a title shot because he's fought two big contenders in the middleweight division. And I think,
I wouldn't say yeah. I think it's probably not yet. Maybe if he beats Whittaker and goes for one more fight and performs well and wins, obviously, then
okay, yeah, I can do that.
Go for one. I think right now it's probably too soon, and we'll just go back to another Woodley situation where he's not actually ready to do it. Bless you.
Yeah.
Bless you, Tam.
Bless you.
But
thank you.
If he beats Whittaker, goes for someone else who's another top contender, and beats him as well, then because he's then cleared the path. And the thing I love about these title shots in these divisions is you have to earn it because there's so many good fighters in all divisions that you have to earn your shot. You have to.
Do you think he's ever going to get that fight with Mike Perry? Because I love how he trolls Mike Perry on Instagram. Have you seen it? He's making so many accounts of Mike. He is in Mike Perry's head. Mike Perry is so emotionally connected with Darren Till, but in the worst way possible. Darren Till is just doing typical English banter. And Mike Perry's, oh, this guy, man, he's just so disrespectful, man. He would stop mentioning my name. And Darren Till was like, oh, Mike Perry, like, says something about you. It's just constant roasting. It's brilliant.
He's living rent-free in Mike Perry's head at the moment.
Oh, definitely.
He is so... Yeah, it's just English humour. It's just like that kind of like banter picking at you. I will pick at your mentality. I will pick at your psyche, and eventually you'll lose it at me. And I won't care at that either because I'm British.
He's made like 6 accounts on Instagram and kept atting Mike Perry, taking the mick out of style. And Mike Perry each time has blocked these accounts. And then he's getting like his fans on Instagram to DM Mike Perry.
The pictures of Mike Bisping that have got Darren Till's face on.
Oh yeah, Mike Darren Bisping. It's brilliant. I love it. I love it, man. You know, there's a fighter out there.
I went into Bisping the other day, and he completely tore him apart. Like Bisping's not the guy you want to mess with because not only is he a good fighter, but the guy can he'll tear you to shreds. Like he's got.
You know who I can't stand? Conor McGregor's best mate. I can't remember his name.
Dylan Dennis.
Oh, I hate that guy so much. He's so annoying. He talks like he's this 15 fight undefeated. Like he's knocked people up. He's won 2 fights by submission. His boxing is terrible. This guy is always talking online. I always see him talking online. I'm like, go away. Like he's not even like good. It's not even like, oh yeah, he got you there. He's 2 fights and he's got a leg injury. He ain't fighting soon. Don't talk. I honestly hope one day he comes to the UFC, he fights Khabib and Khabib submits him. Honestly, I would love that. Absolutely love that.
I would absolutely love it.
Love it.
It would happen regardless.
Oh, Dylan Dennis. He's really good at jiu-jitsu, and I'm not going to knock him there. He's really high level, but his stand-up games... He'll come to the UFC, he'll fight someone who's decent at standing, and he's just going to get like... He's going to get KO'd. I'm telling you, I can't wait. I can't wait for that day. And I'll be there. I'll be there laughing. I'll be at that fight going, ha!
The podcast, didn't it? I can't wait for that day.
I can't wait for that day, Dylan Dan. Because the thing is, he's proper trying hard. If he wasn't trying to be like Conor McGregor, I'd respect him as a fighter because he's trying so hard to be like McGregor. Like, oh, look at me, I'm a swag boy with like all this money and all this thing. You've had 2 fights, mate. Chill. 2 fights and by submission.
People are trying to be like McGregor at the moment because he is. Like he's the person himself up to that level, and it's not just him. It's in all sports. Everyone has their own personality, but they dial it up to 10 because.
I appreciate that, but it's so fake. But it is so fake, and you can see it's just not like him, because when he's like up against certain fighters, and it's just like, oh yeah, man, I'll do. Like he was trying to have a fight with a YouTuber, I think, Jake Paul, that's his name. I'm down with the kids, so I know these names. He tried to have a fight, and I'm like, really, mate, just stop. Just stop.
I'm sorry. Any professional fighter, even if you're not like noticed by anyone, if you're trying to call out just like basic human beings, that's just sad. That's just sad.
Like, I get if this YouTuber had like maybe 5-6 fights and he's gone okay.
No, it doesn't matter. Come on, man.
If he's built a level of recognition where you know he can fight, then I'm like, sure, let him do what he wants to do. But if you haven't fought, he hasn't really fought. Stop trying to like. It's just clout chasing.
He's boxed. He's not been in an MMA fight.
Yeah. Well, he was a wrestler. I think he was a wrestler. He was really good at wrestling, but that's not boxing. So
it's like there's wrestling and there's getting elbows and knees to the head. You know, it's a big. It's a big difference.
I've been knee to the face, and like that's the closest I think I've ever been to potentially getting like knocked out. But I didn't. I stood it strong. I took it on the chin. I was like, I am really dizzy right now. If I take another hit, I'm going down. But yeah, the getting kneed in the face is literally like the equivalent to getting it's the mid-October, it's raining, it's cold, and a football gets kicked in your face. That is
gosh.
Equivalent. But I got to drop this one because it's like one of my favourite fights. Daniel Cormier versus Stipe Miocic. 3. What's happening? Who are we calling? Bearing in mind, DC is claimed to have no injuries at the moment.
I'm going to say that I'm going to do this very quickly because I have to go.
It's cool.
I'm going DC.
I hope so too. I really hope Cormier.
I think he'll do him. Like I say, he's going into it. He says he's got no injuries, and that's that. I think he's going to do it, and then ultimately he's gonna go.
Yeah, I fully agree with that. I mean, I like DC. I hope this is his last fight as well. I hope he makes it. He wins a title. I know it's not like he wins the title and does a GSP and leaves, but like I want him to do it and go, look, I'm retiring as champion. I've done it. I'm going to step down and let the next generation of heavyweights take it.
Yeah.
But we'll see. Francis Ngannou will be the soon-to-be next heavyweight champion because he's a beast.
If he can improve it, obviously, if he can improve his technique, I think he can strike and he can hit well with his technique.
I think technique and stamina for sure.
Yeah.
I think stamina.
Because he just knocks people out clean. He's like a really freakishly powerful guy. I mean, his technique's really good, and I know he wants to get into boxing, and I could see him. He did a podcast with Mike Tyson. I've said it, if you can get Mike Tyson to coach Francis Ngannou, and it goes well, I would just be terrified to even walk into the same shop as Francis Ngannou.
Right, gents, I've got to disappear. Catch
cool, man. Well, good having you, man. Yeah. Appreciate you being on there.
Oh yeah, I'm back to training tomorrow as well.
Oh, nice. Who'd you train with? You training with Adam?
Yeah, with Apex. Yeah.
Oh yeah, get him to share it. we need to get the phone.
Fair. He'll probably have after his I think he's going on camp soon, but he'll probably fancy coming on and having a chat.
Oh mate, that'd be so cool. Yeah, chat to him. I mean, he's another. I genuinely like his fighting style. He's really good. Yeah. But we can't talk it now, as you're gonna be late. But yeah, nice, man. I'll catch you soon.
Love you.
Ciao, bro. Yeah, I've got a dip too.
Oh, it's cool, man. Well, yeah, at least we got a full podcast. So yeah, if anyone, we'll just kind of round up here, basically. If anyone's got any things you want us to talk about, yeah, drop it in the comments. Because currently our first podcast got to 160 views. We've done well. We did really well. So I'm hoping this one's going 200. This one's going 200. So yeah, I hope people enjoyed it. Let us know what you want us to talk about soon. Yeah, and yeah, peace.
Yep.